Hey friendzonies, what's up? Thanks for tuning back in. So I wanted to do a follow-up video to my Little Shether, which is not easy to do. It's a little bit difficult. It's going to be based on my first foster home experience. And I was trying to avoid it, to be honest, because it's a difficult subject. But I only made this channel to talk about the difficult subjects. So let's be honest. That's why I'm doing this channel. For no other reason. I would have stopped if there wasn't stuff I felt like needs to be talked about and addressed. And so this is one of them, obviously, my first foster home experience. So coming off of my Little Shether, if you didn't see that, check it out. It's the last video that we did here on the DK show. I talked about how this family relative got custody of us from my mother and then proceeded to drop us off to foster care because she had other plans and goals in mind of what she wanted to do with her life. And that I would have preferred to just been left with my mother, because being raised by strangers, being raised by people who don't know you, don't care about you, is one of the worst fates I feel like you can be given in life. And I was actually watching the Dr. Phil show the other day, and there was some spoiled girl on there. He gives spoiled kids across America so many great opportunities. I would love to see, because, and him and Robin know how messed up the foster care system is, so I would love to see them give a foster child or two the same opportunities that they give rich American children because of the great ratings that they get. I would love to see that. So anyways, there's kind of just no worse fate than having to spend your childhood being raised by people who don't raised living with people who don't know you or care about you. And that's what foster care is. It is a broken system. I believe J-Lo's got some show called The Fosters, and I ignored it for the longest time because I was like, there's no way this show is about foster care. There's no way. I saw like a clip. It looked like a happy family sitting around a table. So I know that this is not a show about foster care. Apparently it is. And I don't know a single black kid that's had a foster care experience like that TV show. So, yeah. My first foster care experience was pretty shitty. So what happened was this relative decided she didn't want us anymore. She had fun playing house. She had fun taking away her niece's kids, and now she wanted to move on and do whatever the hell she wanted to do. So she dropped us off in foster care. So she comes to us, kids who've already been through hell, who've lived in turmoil and chaos, and says, I'm going out of state to take care of my father. I gotta go out of state to take care of my father, so I'm going to drop you guys off to live with these other people. That's what we were told. You're going to be dropped off to live with these other people. So I believe I was in 5th or 6th grade at the time. I'm the second oldest of 5. So there were 5 of us. Okay, nobody wants to take in 5 black children in the American foster care system. If their own family members don't want to take them in, why would a stranger? And I guess foster parents get paid what cops get paid, and that's why everybody's pissed off and doesn't want to do their job. Because, and caseworkers as well. I guess and teachers, some teachers, I guess they just get paid really low. The thing that confuses me is, like, you chose to do this job. You chose it. It didn't choose you, right? The foster care life didn't choose you. You chose it. If you don't want to be a foster mother, you didn't have to be a foster mother. But it's a really great side source of income for somebody that wants to sit around at home and do nothing all day. You know, make some money having these kids in your house. Because once they're dropped off, there's no accountability at all. So we were dropped off at this foster home in the ghetto. And we was already in the ghetto anyway, so don't get twisted. Don't get it twisted. We was already in the ghetto, but this was even more ghetto. This was like, I was like, God damn, I didn't think it could get worse. I didn't think it could get worse. The home was really essentially like, you would take a child out of that home. You would come into that home and you would look around and you'd be like, a child can't live here. But they dropped 5 black kids off there. The woman was very old. Too old to be taking care of 5 kids. Kind of disabled, even. She was like disabled. She was heavy and disabled. She didn't move much. I don't think that the relative that dropped us off gave us hugs and kisses, you know, sorry, you know, see you later. It was just like, bye, you know. So we got dropped off there. And I remember being horrified, and I remember feeling like this is not going to be a good experience at all. Okay, dog. Cersei, get going. Thanks. Okay, so anyways, so we're dropped off at this place, and now we're living at this house, okay? I believe my sisters and I all had a room, and then my brothers had a room, and there were other foster kids there as well. So 5 of us already, and there were like 2 other kids there, 7 kids, to this disabled, overweight woman. She had kids, she had grandkids. They would come over. They had cars. They looked nice. She didn't do our hair. You know, she didn't provide us with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, that didn't happen. A caseworker didn't come to the house periodically to make sure that, you know, we were being treated correctly, that there was, and I apologize for the fluorescent lighting. You know, nobody likes fluorescent lighting, but hey, I'm gonna look good in any lighting, so it is what it is. We were here for a little over 3 years. There's no breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's no meals. She would go out to eat, and this was at every foster home we were ever at, except for the last one that I was in, as I said before. That family, and I hope they understand, if they've ever watched any of my videos, that I'm very grateful for the experience I had with them. But every other foster home besides that, and that I was an adult when I got to my last foster home. I was an adult. I was in college, okay? Okay, so this foster home, they didn't feed us. She did not tell us that we had a clothing check. As I said in my last video, foster kids get clothing checks because these people that they drop you off to live with, they don't expect them to provide anything for you. Then they give them no expectations. It's not like adopting a child where you have to like fit a criteria, right? They won't let you adopt a child internationally and you just any old who shot John. They're not gonna let that happen. But you can be any old who shot John and be a foster parent. And I understand that, you know, group homes are also horrible because I don't have any experience with group homes. I was only in foster homes. I understand that group homes are equally as horrible because the people in charge can be abusive, and they also leave the kids unattended with one another. So you have a bunch of kids in a room in spaces together who've all been victimized in their previous homes, sexually, physically, emotionally, whatever. And the older ones will basically become predators on the younger ones. So I've heard horrible experiences that people have had in group homes being in foster care as well. So there's no part of this system that works. Okay, except for I think maybe if you're white and you're a white kid and they put you in a good white home out in the suburbs, then you might get a good home. You might get a good home then. Or you might, you know, like I said, the last home I was in, it was a black family and they were a very good family. I was an adult. I'm telling you that this is my first foster care experience. I was in 5th or 6th grade. It took up until the time I was an adult to find a fucking caring person in this system. So the numbers are against you. Absolutely. So food wasn't provided, and you know, you're a kid, so you're not going to be like, hey, I'm not getting breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know, you're just kind of like, I'm hungry, this is uncomfortable, this really sucks. Okay, so on top of that, we were very much overachievers in school, okay? We were never provided rides, okay? We went to, as I said, a private Catholic school in my last video. If you have any questions, check out the last video. We went to a private Catholic school, so we were very much involved. And I think that if we weren't as involved as we were, we wouldn't have gotten the support that we got from that school. You know, we contributed greatly to that school. I think that if we were just lumps on a log, they'd be like, oh, what are we helping you out for? I wouldn't know, because nobody pressured me to do extracurriculars. Nobody forced me to. Nobody asked me to. I did every single extracurricular I could. I did every single advanced class that I could. And everything I did was advanced class and extracurriculars, this and that. And there were no rides provided. So that means that after you're in school from 7:30 to 2:30, and then you do your extracurriculars until 5, 6, 7, that meant that we're kids now walking miles back home. Walking. Upstate New York. Rain, sleet, hail, or snow. Okay? And in the snow. And we didn't have LL Bean boots either. We didn't have those LL Bean boots that you so desperately need to protect your feet from weather. Okay? We didn't have the down coats, right? We didn't have our first down coats. We had get down, get away from me, Cersei. You knocking stuff over, you playing games. Thanks. Oh God. Okay. I know, little girl. God. Anyways. So it was a miserable experience. And then so you're in this woman's home, right? And her kids and grandkids are coming in. And even though she's not providing you with any food, she doesn't say good morning, she doesn't say how was school, she doesn't say good night, every day for years, her kids will wonder why you have any type of attitude ever. And if they see you have an attitude with their mother, why are you talking to my grandma like that? Why are you talking to my mother like that? Who you think you is? These are grown-ass adults now talking to children. Hi, if you're watching, if you watch my show, if you watch my videos. I don't like you. Okay? So, and you know I never liked you, so get out of here. You know that. None of you, okay? They would get in your face. They would threaten to hit you, and they would put hands on you if they felt like you were disrespecting their mother or grandmother, a child living with these people, not providing anything for you. You can't react. You can't react. Get this phone out of my face. Keep person open more. I'm sorry. It does. I'm gonna wrap this up. God damn, she's like farting all over the place. Ugh. Ah! I know. So I'm not gonna. Woo. Oof. I don't even know if I can finish filming in here. This fucking. Ugh. Gross. We didn't get a clothing check for the first 3 years that we were there. So the little measly under $300 that they would give you, we didn't get for the first 2 years that we were there. She just didn't give it to us. She gave it to somebody else because she knew that we didn't know what was going on. We were kids. So that was 2 years of not having new sneakers, not having snow boots, not having a new coat. Okay? There were roaches. It was dirty. Other kids, like I said, lived in the home, so that's other kids that you gotta essentially fight with and deal with and live with, coming from whatever crazy circumstances they're coming from. Caseworkers gave no accountability to the foster parents at all. There was no accountability. So there was a lot more as well about being in these foster homes. I think the very cold manner that kids are treated in general, the way that the state or the county or the caseworkers in charge don't hold the foster parents accountable to be actual foster parents to these kids is atrocious. No standard of living at all in the homes. There could be roaches, it could be dirty. That's fine. That's good enough for little black kids in the ghetto, I guess. I guess, people say that the system is changed or it's changing or it's getting better, but I don't see how. I don't see how, because these people are still allowed to be foster parents. There's no accountability. There's no answering to their behaviors. They're allowed to get away with child abuse. And I share this story to put an end to it, basically. Nobody wants to rehash this type of shit. I know I don't. I don't like to think about it. I got better things to do. But if you don't share what actually happens, then you get shows like The Fosters, and you get people lying and perpetrating a lie about this system. I believe Jimmy Wayne, a country music singer, was in foster care, and he calls it foster no care. And that's exactly what it is. Jimmy Wayne is a white guy. So I don't have any myths about it being amazing for all white kids. I don't. But what I'm saying is there are so annoyed. I have 2 cats and a dog, and every single one of them has just farted in my fucking face while I'm shooting this video. I can't. All right. So anyways, I make no, I don't want to generalize when I say that they have good white people out in the suburbs that'll give white kids a home. But what I'm saying is that's often portrayed when people talk about foster care, something like the Fosters. And that's not the average experience at all, whether you're black or white. The average experience is people who don't have to answer to anyone when they have someone else's children in their house will probably take advantage of that in some way, shape, or form. And that means the kids end up abused mentally, physically, emotionally, sexually, spiritually, whatever. That means the kids are at stake when you don't have accountability. So shame on this country for sweeping under the rug what they've done to foster kids or former foster kids in this country. Shame on them. I never hear it talked about, as I've said before. No one ever brings it up. No one is fighting for, no one is advocating for these kids. It's not a lot of kids, but yet the government, for some reason, can't come up with any money for them. Okay? 3% of foster children go to and finish college. I'm part of that 3%. I had to pay for that shit by myself. You don't have a fucking fund for the 3% of the fucking kids that want to make something for themselves? You don't have a little bit of money set on the side to help them out in any way, shape, or form? It's sick. These kids come from nothing. And this government has nothing to offer them. At the end of the day, these kids' parents failed them, and they are citizens of this country. Take care of them. The way you take care of everybody else. The way you got billions of dollars to give to everybody else. To take their little bit of money. To have your little alliances and shit. Put some money aside for these kids. Make these foster parents accountable. Hire caseworkers and social workers that want to be there, that want to do the job, that want to do the work. It's work. Shame on this country for what it's done. Shame on the people in Rochester, New York, who think that they can get away with child abuse. Shame on the caseworkers who failed children who are depending on having someone in their corner. I'm going to keep talking about this because you failed. And these kids deserve better. So that was one of the experiences at my first foster home. Oh, also, the foster mother that I lived with would constantly say, I'm going to separate you guys. I'm going to separate you guys. I'm going to separate you. You keep fighting, I'm going to separate you. Can you imagine arguing with your siblings and having someone fighting with your siblings the way kids do, and having someone say, okay, well, I'll just put you in different homes? And she actually had me get down on my hands and knees as a child and beg her to not separate us, crying on my hands and knees to this woman. Life doesn't turn out so well for people like that. Child abusers, your time is coming. You're not going to get away with it. And so if you knew me, you know you ain't getting away with shit. I'm coming for you. That was the first foster home experience. I'll talk about all the multiple experiences I've had after that. And we'll get to the bottom of why this system is so wrecked. It's time to take care of these kids. If you're in foster care or you were in foster care, hashtag Fosties. I coined that term. Don't let nobody else try to take it. I coined it. Here on the DK show, Danie Steele. Hashtag Fosties. Okay? If you see this, tell me your story. Share your story. Hashtag Fosties. Okay? We're going to win. We're going to make things better for foster kids in America because we deserve it. Foster kids deserve it. They deserve good homes. It's not their fault that their parents failed. That's not their fault. And it's not their problem. So that's it. That was my first foster home experience, and I'll be sharing a lot more. Because if you didn't want the experience shared, you shouldn't have gave it to me. Thanks. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all my other videos, and I will see you very soon. All right. Bye, friendzonies.